My dad, he had fear. He had fear, constant fear. He was very afraid that someone would speak up, could turn around and make him answer to those things that he had done. Very difficult to watch this man preach every Sunday. Topics about love and about mercy, they felt very strange coming from his lips. I stared myself in the mirror a lot of times, and maybe I do look like him, maybe. For as long as I can remember, I have been raised as Stevie Joshua's daughter.
I knew the child, Ajoke, right from birth.
She's his actual daughter, his biological daughter, with another woman outside of wedlock.
He doesn't seem to like her very much. She was like kind of labeled the black sheep of the family.
I was in primary school, was made to move to the disciples' room. I didn't volunteer to be a disciple, I was made to join.
Ajoke grew inside the synagogue, like an outcast.
I think he wanted to keep her a secret. I don't think he wanted anyone to know who she was. The message about Ajoke was that she had terrible evil spirits that needed to be driven out. There was a time in the disciples' meetings, he said that people could beat her. Anyone in the female dormitory could just hit her. And I saw people just walking in, just slapping her as they walked past.
Ajoke, little thing, you see somebody slap her.
There was a particular time that I was very tired. I had slept a little bit too much.
So he started like shouting at her to get up, to get up, to get up. And there was another disciple there who basically took her and took her to the shower and whipped her with an electrical cord and then turned the hot water on.
Put my head right on the hot water. I was screaming at the top of my voice, and I just let the water run on my head for a very long time. We're talking about years and years of abuse, consistent abuse, abuse that wasn't ending.
He hated her, and he punished her for being born. Her existence was probably the biggest threat to his reputation.
I couldn't even have an identity. That kind of pain cannot be put into words. I felt like, maybe I really don't deserve to be alive.
What's her fault? What has that girl done? It pains me. She was still very young that time. Can you imagine how heartless we were?
Things like that, it's scary to talk about, it's really shameful. Like that I witnessed that and I didn't do anything to help her.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what she thought about the rest of us.
The disciples were both brainwashed and enablers. Everybody was just acting based on commands like zombies. Nobody was questioning anything. They were beyond fanatics. Where does your conscience come in? How far can your conscience go without some form of accountability, without some form of truth? How far? Every time I was beaten up, every time I was humiliated, it just reminded me that there was something wrong with that system. I saw female disciples going up to his room. They were away, they were going away for hours. I was hearing things, oh, this happened to me, oh, he tried sleeping with me. Too many people were saying the same thing. Accounts firsthand of people who had experienced sexual abuse.
She got to know who he was, and she could not manage it quietly.
I walked directly into his office and I went off. I shouted at the top of my voice, why are you doing all of this? Why are you hurting all of these women? You're using this woman, you're sleeping with these women. I had lost every iota of fear for this man. He was shocked. He was beyond shocked and he couldn't hide it. Stare me down. Why? I was looking at his eyes.
He got stirred up, claiming innocence to the disciples. When he's angry, it's like he can kill. He was the first person that started hitting her, then other people joined. He was saying, can you imagine what he's saying about me? Even as much as they were hitting her, beating her, she was still saying the same thing she was saying. You are having an affair with all these women here. She said it plainly to him.
The disciples dragged me out to the office. I was put in a room totally isolated from the rest of the church.
He would lock her up in a room for months. I'm not telling you weeks, months.
I wonder how I lived through that time because they were hitting me with belts, chains. I couldn't even stand up for days after this meeting. I couldn't take a shower. He was trying so hard to stop people from listening to me. He just felt threatened by the fact that I knew the things that was happening.
Ajoke was bold enough to confront him in front of his disciples. I see her as a hero. To look at him and tell him who he is. She was brave.
This child could see what we couldn't see and wouldn't yield to the lies and was punished for it.
He created an image of an untouchable being, of a perfect being. But I was looking through those things. I was seeing a man that was very vulnerable, that was very afraid of the truth. He was very afraid that someone would speak up, could turn around and make him answer to those things that he had done. Everything was a keg of gunpowder, and it could have gone off in one moment.